What is going on, everybody? I'm going to react to the Games Workshop preview. So, if you've already watched it, head on over to the Ghost Tiny Fine Detail Paintbrush Set for Miniatures Kickstarter live now. Link in the description and in the pinned comments. Thank you so much for checking it out. I would love for you to support. So, let's check out the GW preview and see what we missed. It's almost 1 p.m. here. It's 12:40, so I get up much later than probably normal people, so I wasn't awake for it to be live. But all right, right off the bat, this looks pretty cool. Some good stuff. So let's see what they're serving up us thirsty gamer boys. All right. Warhammer Preview Online, Lords of the Mortal Realms. Looks like it's all AOS, Underworlds, and Warhammer Quest. So no 40k, so I still won't know if I'm getting my AdMech or Eldar Codex first to get excited about 9th edition, but that's okay. So just overall, not really going to be too interested in all of these, I think, but I'll get into why. I'm always interested in new models. All right, so let's see. Illuminati Rom Lords. Are these the kangaroos? Oh, okay. So these appear to be Venari Blade Lords, which of course sounds like sword masters. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I don't like the eyes, the way the eyes painted with like the guy liner on, but I don't know, they look pretty good. Cool poses for double-handed swords, and a lot of twisting in the torso and core section. This guy's got two, so that's cool. If these are like sword masters, I believe their swords were made of like mithril or something, and they were really light to wield. So these are an example. They got maybe too much going on back here with the back flag and the thing. But you know, these Illuminati helmets are so bad. These ones aren't as bad though as the cows. They seem more somewhat balanced, more reasonable somehow. So I'm going to go with, okay, cool. And looks like we got a bolt thrower. You can't have high elves without bolt throwers. So they're getting bolt throwers. So they're high elves. See, I like these elf helmets. These are great. Because I like Eldar. I like the high elves back in the day. I like the big helmets actually on models, but when they look like they, I don't know, are somewhat balanced or able to be held up by the model's neck, that's an important part of it, which is why I chose the thumbnail I did on how bad those original ones were. But yeah, I think this range is actually looking better and better. You know, a few head swaps on some of the stuff maybe you don't like, or maybe you don't even have a ton of the models you don't love, but once you mixed in a lot of this new stuff, I think you would be pretty good looking army. So this appears to be either an endless spell or a terrain feature. It looks like probably a terrain feature. I am 100% against terrain features. Bringing a terrain feature for your army, I don't like it at all. And it's always in AOS, I'm pretty sure they're all free, so they're 0 points, and they only add benefits to you, so you have to take them. It's like a sneaky way that they force you to buy these, not force you, but you know what I mean. Sneaky way to try to get you to buy these terrain kits. I'm against it. Hopefully they don't bring it into 40k. It doesn't look like they necessarily have yet, but they're trying to sneak it in there. And here we go. That's an awesome model. What are we about to look at? Lead new units into the battle as a selection of heroes. Illuminati add a unique set of magical and martial skills to your army, including the Spirit of the Wind. Okay, so this is some kind of hero thing. This guy's awesome. That's a great looking special character. Elf, a lord, very reminiscent of like a Tyrion or, you know, an actual awesome general mounted. Big lance, shield, epic, almost throwback to the old high elf or Phoenix Lord style helmets. Really cool helmet. Love it. So when they did this with the Slanesh, I thought it was great. With the demon jumping off the big demon. But the little elf jumping off the little elf doesn't look as cool to me. You get a little owl, you get two little elves, a crazy big like sun helmet for her to stand on. I don't know. I don't hate this. Seems like though, well, I don't know. Maybe wait to see some different paint jobs on it, but this isn't jaw dropper to me. But there's a lot of cool elements of it, I guess. But the whole overall idea, GW likes to try to flex their model design, and sometimes I think it's an absolute failure. I.e., this exact army with the armor set that's supposed to be floating, I think is terrible. Light of it, Elarion. A lot of people absolutely love that model. I think it's so generically boring. But also like the way they tried to make it look like Teclis was flying through the air instead of jumping off a trampoline saying wee. Then this one kind of has that feel to it. I don't know why they're trying to make it like, oh look, she's flying through the air. We only had to connect her a little bit right here. You know, whatever. Oh, it looks like we got another one. We got a couple more. This guy's awesome. Great helmet. I like the big plumes. I guess he's like a wizard and a fighter. So some kind of hybrid. Cool model. Awesome. Battle standard bearer or a mage. This helmet's cool. It's like a little too tall and a little too wide. I think maybe if you actually just cap that off to the point. I don't know. I like these kind of wide base helmets. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain, right? Because sometimes you like them, sometimes you don't. I actually think this one's all right. I don't know if he's on high heels or floating or standing on mushrooms. Once again, it's them trying to show you. Ooh, look what we did. I don't know. High heels? I don't know. I like that guy. He's cool. Here's another one trying to flex. They're like, ooh, he's standing on wind. Is that a flying base or is that a plastic painted? I think it's a flying base. I don't like that curved flying base they're doing, really. But a lot of these, on these type of models, I just would build up basing elements on the base and get them roughly the same height. You know, like a pile of rocks or something. Not only is it way more secure to glue them to it, but you don't have to deal with the flying bases. He's pretty cool. Giant helmets. So the giant helmets, too, on like the wizards, I don't know. I think makes more sense to me, honestly. Or at least, here's the battle standard bearer. That's a big helmet, a big banner. That's awesome. Awesome paint job, awesome model, awesome battle standard bearer. So this one has a lot of elements of the old original High Elves. Wow. I mentioned this before. I might make a whole video on it. I don't know. It's such a negative topic for me. But I feel like it's pretty dirty to basically give you a brand new army and hold off a bunch of units that you know had to have been already sculpted, right? They knew they were coming. And to hold off all these units to release later down the road and going to be accompanied by a new book. I'm sure we haven't seen the book yet, but it's either going to be in one of those Broken Realms type books or a new codex. Feels a little dirty to me. And we got the Wind Fox on the Silly Tornado. This is maximum silliness of like trying to show off how they design their models standing on weird things or floating. I don't think it's a bad model, but this whole style of them trying to do this over and over again to me is old. They're the only ones doing it, so it's not like it gets old, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like you could make this guy much cooler without having to try to force him swirling on a tornado. I don't know. All right. Oh, new Realm Lords book. All right, never mind. Scratch what I said before. They are total money grabbing you with a new book. They sold you the book with the brand new army. I don't know when it came out. It's pretty darn recent, actually. I'm sure things have been screwed up a little bit by COVID, or even a lot of it. But didn't Lumineth Rom Lords come out in 2020? So all of this had to have been somewhat designed, I imagine, ready to go. And there you go. New Rom Lords book. Now, if you don't like your current Lumineth Rom Lords battle tome, then the new one will probably be pretty sweet for you. Because, right, if you play the army, it sucks having to buy a new book, but new rules usually mean new cool stuff to try out on the battlefield. And Teclis is going to need all the help he can get. Some wicked things coming as the Broken Realms saga. Okay, Broken Realms is like Vigilus or... oh, wow, I can't even... Vigilus Ablaze, and can't even remember now what the 40k little supplement books are. These are ways to just give you, like, a couple cool rules. Basically, you buy a $40 or $30 book for 4 pages, maybe. I don't love this marketing strategy, but a lot of times they are good rules for your army. Looks like Nighthaunt's going to show up in the next one, I guess, if it's Broken Realms, and this is a Nighthaunt guy. Now, back on GW showing off how they design their models, I think the Nighthaunt makes perfect sense, showing off them wispy and blowing around in the wind and these ethereal creatures floating. But when they're doing it on the Lumineth, it seems so stupid and forced to me. And maybe that's not the case for you. These are opinions, of course. Yeah, so I think this guy's cool. A lot going on. I don't know what it is. He's chained up. He's got a fireball. Is this... It almost looks like a big crossbow. Or like a ballista or something. Meet the Nighthaunt Challenge. He's a new Stormcast hero. Guardian Steel Soul. Alright. One thing you either love or hate about Games Workshop is they will go full meme. They're all about the meme. I imagine the sculptors and designers in that department are younger and into memes like the rest of us. And then they have to take it to like the higher up CEO guys who probably don't play the game, or, you know, the shareholders, whatever. They probably don't play the game or have any interest in any of it. I don't know if that's true, but so the higher ups probably don't know this is like a funny thing, and it's kind of like the superhero landing or whatever from what Marvel movie, Deadpool. Gina Carano, she's in the news. So yeah, you got the full superhero landing. Now this is a dynamic pose with a lot of movement. It's, you know, it's got the meme quality, but he's not being held up by this little hammer cape like they try to make the elves. He looks like he's heavy and he hit the ground and he's about to swing some weapon at you. So that's cool. New Stormcast coming. Looks like we got some kind of Blood Knights or something people were talking about. New Blood Knight. I don't know. White King. Company. Alright, so a new mounted general probably for your skeleton army. Death Rattle. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a great looking undead mounted general. Big horse, big actual character on top, big lance, big armor, reasonably epic, large helmet, not overdoing it. It's kind of, I think he was in one of the silhouette previews and everybody thought he was going to be a Blood Knight squad, including myself. So maybe there'll be a squad of these, but no, the whites aren't vampires though. So great model. You're going to see all the big painters on Instagram and whatnot paint this guy, I'm sure. He might be one of those early release ones where they give to all the miniature painters to basically have them fully painted up on day one. So yeah, that's cool. And also the fun thing with Undead, it's kind of like Nurgle. You can paint them clean, you can paint them dirty, you can really grim dark them up with weathering and all kinds of different techniques. You got bone, you got metal, rust, dirt, cloth, The only thing you're kind of missing is flesh, but a lot of times they'll even give you like a decapitated head or a body part or somewhere on these things that you can also show your painting of skin tones. They're really a tour de force of the hobby painters. The Mob of Mork. All right, so here is the Savage Orc Underworld's Dire Chasm. We've seen a couple of these guys. All right, right off the bat, that's a good-looking orc archer. He's got the ponytail with the skull bead. Fun, classic, bird skull. Maybe it's a Lord of Change, a baby one. Great. That's a good-looking orc archer. If they had a unit of them, I think people would love to have a unit that looked like that. Instead of whatever the current horror boys look like. All right, new awesome orc shaman. I love the Savage Orc Witch Doctor theme. I've done some Witch Doctor stuff on my Kickstarters. I think the Witch Doctor voodoo kind of genre is not nearly as explored as much as, say, like steampunk or gothic vampire or cyberpunk, those kind of genres or themes. So I think the voodoo style is always really cool. Voodoo dolls, wooden, like ceremonial masks, bones and feathers. Great. This guy's great. I love him. I love the big crazy wooden face mask. We've seen this guy. Awesome. I guess he's like your champion guy. Leader. Unless the wizard's the leader. He looks like kind of like a general on foot type character, or at least a hero on foot. And we got Toga Man, who's pretty much naked. And he's like your double-handed weapon heavy guy. Great. You can't go wrong. If you play Warcry or Underworlds, any of these warbands are great. Or even if you're like into Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop role-playing games, and you just need some great-looking sculpts for some monsters or whatever, you just can't go wrong. And these newer ones have been fantastic. The vampires, these ones, they're all great. The Slanesh and Lumina in the Dire Chasm set. It looks like Dire Chasm. Well, let's see what this is. But if you're looking to introduce someone to Warhammer Underworlds, we have the perfect solution. Okay, so this is maybe it's like the Barnes & Noble style starter set. Just like another starter set to get people into the game, which is cool. I actually bought Dire Chasm. I haven't opened it yet, but I figured I could paint up the Slanesh guys because I love Slanesh models. And maybe bring them to like conventions, or maybe I have a friend that I can convince to play. But I'm not going to chase any of the deck building or any of that. They went full on automatic bolt rifle Space Marine style on this cover art. Like, we all know that Stormcast have a heavy kind of Space Marine influence, and they were trying to recapture that magic with AOS Space Marines. But man, that just looks straight up like a machine gun. So that is what that is. Warhammer Quest Cursed City. May make my own separate video on this, but overhead view, the Warhammer Quest games are okay. They're usually not great. I played the original one, which was super fun, but obviously there's nostalgia involved when talking about that. So Silver Tower was all kinds of new cool models, and it was pretty okay. There was some missions that were awful, but overall it was a pretty fun experience. And then Hammer Hall was pretty mediocre. There was really bad balance between the characters, and it seemed very easy and pointless. But you got a lot of cool stuff in the box. Blackstone Fortress was shockingly, stupidly easy. And then they started finally, like other Dungeon Crawl board games, releasing expansions which were way, way overpriced, like $60, $80 for a single model in your expansion. So, that being said, I'm not overly excited to jump into this. I'm sure what I'm about to see is going to change my mind a little bit. But whether this is a complete standalone game like Silver Tower or Hammer Hall, or if it's going to be like Blackstone Fortress and get expansions, we'll see. But I don't want to chase the expansion thing because generally these games you've already played through them completely before the first expansion comes out. Whereas if you back a dungeon crawl game on Kickstarter, like a Massive Darkness or a Gloomhaven or something, you're getting all the expansions and the game all at once in one go, and for probably much less money than, and way more miniatures than you're going to get from the Games Workshop version. Games Workshop's making the better miniatures, but I don't think they're making the better dungeon crawl board game. But this one looks like it's come with a lot of miniatures, so let's check this out. You can choose from 8 heroes. Wow. Alright, so first off we got the lady from Game of Thrones with the giant eagle. She reminds me of like Inquisitor Cortez, but full-on Game of Thrones lady. Awesome Stormcast or Warrior Priest type character, I'm not sure. This guy's amazing. The paint job, the design, he's so cool. He's just an awesome witch hunter type character. Really, really cool. Well, everybody loves this guy. If you don't like this model, you probably don't like Games Workshop. Crazy heavy artillery dwarf man. He's got his full captain's Sky Pirate uniform on. Naval guy. Skyhook. Cool. These guys aren't my favorite look, but I think they design them well, and all around they're very coherent and cool looking. We've seen the elf. It's a good elf. Elf archer. Can't go wrong, right? Triple ponytail for triple the damage. Full-on Inquisitor Janice from from Blackstone Fortress. There's an Inquisitor that looks exactly like this guy. Pistol, sword, space captain, basically. Rogue trader. And this guy's great. He could be a 40k or, I guess, Age of Sigmar or Fantasy, whatever. He's a cool model, but I feel like I've seen him before. Oh. This guy's interesting. He's... Wow, that is a long goatee. I don't know if it has to be that long. Probably not. But, I don't know, it reminds you of the Kill Bill guy with, like, 10 times the length of his goatee. But he also has, like, I don't know if that's his face mask, like a ceremonial mask or something. He could be, like, Lo Pan from Big Trouble in Little China, or a necromancer, or maybe he's a Night Haunt guy pretending to be something. He's wearing, like, a face cover. He might be, like, he almost looks kind of Night Haunt to me, like a ghost. I guess Lo Pan is kind of a ghost in Big Trouble. Oh, we got some more. Sisters of Battle. Cleric lady. Awesome. Cool. If you're into like converting, or if you follow any of those groups like Inquisimunda or whatever, they're going to have a field day. They're definitely buying this set because there's a lot of very unique, cool models in here. And that is a good looking ogre. Wow. Yeah, that... You wish the ogres in Age of Sigmar look like this, because they are awful looking models compared to this. Actually, just kind of in general with their big balloon muscles and just weird, deep... They have big, fatty balloon muscles, but deep cuts in their muscle definition. It doesn't make sense. This guy's awesome. He'd also be a great Blood Bowl ogre if he just cut off his mace there. Incredible ogre. Wonderful. I guess that's probably the 8 heroes. So let's see what we got here. New bat swarms. Giant bat. Bat swarms. Cool. Roaming monsters. Maybe these will all get like roaming monster rules and Warcry as well. Rat swarms. Great. These... Skaven probably could use these as their giant rats maybe, or they should definitely consider upgrading them to that. So these are pretty sweet. I don't know what they are. They're like Mongolian orcs. So we got Mongolian orcs, I guess. I don't know if that's quite Mongolian, but that's what I'm thinking maybe with the hat. I don't know. Great. Undead orcs. Are those orcs? Let me know in the comments if those are orcs. New skeletons. GW makes great skeletons. These are great. More skeletons. These are great. If you play Undead Death Rattle or whatever, you're definitely picking this up just to fill out a unit of skeletons. Graveguard or skeletons, great. Ooh, new zombies? Those are cool. I wonder how many. It looks like there's going to be 5 more showing up. So, yeah, these are cool. New zombie models that look way more in scale with, like, proper human proportions or whatever. And they're really carrying a lot of crap on them. Like, every single one of them got out of the ground right underneath a fence. None of them could manage to sneak away from like the lid of their coffin or the gravestone. For some reason, it was easier to just pick up the whole thing and carry it. That being said, very dynamic, very cool, great looking models. So the monsters, the generic bad guy monsters, looks like you get a ton of them. Yeah, all a win. All of them are good. Ooh, so this guy is the Wolf Killer, Genghis Khan, the Wolf Killer. I was watching with my nephews a show called Lego Ninjago, and there was like a white wolf girl on there that this reminds me of, so that's kind of funny because I literally watched like 2 episodes with my 3-year-old nephew and saw this exact wolf, I'm pretty sure. Lego Ninjago, look it up. I think there's a wolf that looks just like this with the red on her head. So anyway, that's a lot of wolf pelt, but a cool model nonetheless. These guys remind me of like Dogs of War, where you used to just get these crazy models. This guy's maximum stuff crammed onto him. I think it might be a little too much. He's got a bird, a rat, a bat, and a raccoon. Yeah. I don't know if he needed all of those familiars, but he's a cool necromancer or whatever he is. We've seen this guy. He's like your champion skeleton. He's great. New Vargolf. Great paint job. This is great. This feels more like a true horror model and less like a heroic GW muscular model. So I think it's a combination of the pale paint job, but the design, it reminds you of, I think it was like Pumpkinhead or, I don't know, some of those old like 90s, maybe even 80s horror movies where like the kind of puppeteered monsters would come out and look real creepy. There might even be not exactly like this, a giant bat, but maybe even in like Werewolf of London, American Werewolf in London, whatever that movie's called. It's great. Check it out. This guy's incredible. He's maximum like horror style, not like Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy style. He's like a horror model, and his shovel's amazing. He's really, really good. Cool. So these are. I'm gonna go with vampires. These remind you of the cool vampires you would see in like a Underworlds or Blade movie that, you know, as the main characters walking through a hallway, or maybe they come into there might be a couple of these. You know, they come into a room and this is like the mini boss, I assume. You gotta take down, maybe they're brothers or sisters or, you know, siblings. That's a lot of ponytail. Do they all have that much ponytail? No, he's got the mohawk. Oh yeah, so he's got the long hair too. So yeah, these are, I bet there's some kind of encounter where you fight all 3 of them. That's where they all are doing the kind of same thing, kind of look the same, I think. Great. So what's in the box? 8 heroes, 40 to 50 models. You're getting 50 models and some scatter terrain, little knick-knack things. So 50 models, probably $160. Yeah, if you look at Massive Darkness, I think they're $100 and you get like 70 or 80 models. Obviously they're not GW models, but they're still good. But no War Scrolls book, so that's interesting. You gotta buy, maybe you don't have to, but you buy the box game here, and you're gonna get the rules for AOS. Nice addition. D12, that's exciting. Those might be D8s. D12s, interesting. 28 dice. Counters, tokens, board tiles. Definitely some throwback to the original Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer Quest with the checker tiles and stuff. And the sacrificial chamber here. But different shaped rooms. But you still got the 3x3 squares. Yeah. So you got a lot of the classic Games Workshop Warhammer Quest elements. And it looks like they're still going with the character has 4 wounds, 4 action dice. Which, you know, it's pretty simple and fun. I don't know. It's okay. There's some problems with it. Like if you take 2 wounds, your character's only functioning at half value. But instead of like if you had 20 wounds and just click down with slightly bigger hits. I don't know. Yeah, it's great. So let's Curse City book. And I don't know. Let's see what that is in a second. So let's get honest for a second here. Do you think this is going to sell out during pre-order with all of these new awesome hero models for not only people that want to play this game, but conversions, Necromunda, Warcry, just heroes in your Space Marine army or your 40k army, I mean, or your AOS army? You know, I mean, it definitely could make a Space Marine captain out of one, or a Inquisitor out of about all of them. Sister of Battle character, wizards, mages, tons of awesome bad guys for any kind of role player. So, do you think this will sell out in pre-order and be gone forever? Kind of like the way the Warcry starter set came out and it just never came back. It was gone. Catacombs came out and sold out forever, but it did come back a little bit. I think they re-released another wave. So, and my point is, you may want to pick this up. Even if you don't want this game, pick it up. And you could probably make $50 to $100 just selling it the week of that this thing sells out immediately. And you could just sell it on eBay or something. And then, of course, if you want to crack it open, you'll be able to sell all of these guys for probably 12 to 20 bucks a pop. All the main characters, all the skeletons. So, you know, a lot of people do that. They buy a bunch of them and then they break them open and piece them out individually. And people will buy that. And then you could sell, you know, all the rules and gaming elements for 20 bucks. Whatever. So, you might have a little eBay score here. If you don't want this game, maybe pick it up for flipping. But also, after the giant Indominus sales, I think they're probably going to make more of these than they used to. Because Indominus sold so many kits. This is jam-packed with such awesome stuff. They might really have made a lot of these. So, at your own risk. And then we got this thing. It's not just undead who oppose mortal realm heroes. Something demonic. Oh, a demon. I'm going to turn off the volume just for the video here. You got Be'lakor. I'm going with Be'lakor. Shadow Sword, Black Wings, Black Demon Prince, Be'lakor. Are they going to show the whole guy? And the star on the chest? Or it's just the new Demon Prince model, which also is cool. See it? Okay. The first prince, right. Okay, so it's Be'lakor. So it's both. It's Be'lakor, but also, if you want a new cool Demon Prince, then you can just use this model, if he's on the same base size, of course. So that's awesome. So he's going to be how they sell you the third book in the Broken Realm Saga. So expect tied in precisely third with the princely third book. Okay, so Marathi was kind of the first one. I think it's like Teclis or somebody they're talking about in the second one. And now it's going to be Be'lakor in the third Broken Realms book. And there you have it. Thank you guys so much. If you stuck around this long, head on over to the Ghost Tiny Kickstarter live now. Look at the numbers rising. Beautiful. And this is my paintbrush set that I've been working on. This is my third successful Kickstarter, and I would appreciate it so much if you could check it out. And of course, if you could support, even just $1, would be incredible. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe.